People think it's so crazy when I say a resume has never gotten me a job, not once. The part-time jobs that I did work when I was younger, I kind of got through friends or family members' word of mouth. And then in 2021, when I graduated university, I graduated with a double major degree in journalism and humanities. I applied to like 100 jobs. As you do, I was on LinkedIn, Indeed every day, doing the things, and it was crickets. So I did what any typical Gen Z girl would do. I spent the night doom scrolling, feeling sorry for myself, and I came across money TikTok, the girlies posting their drop shipping earnings and all that stuff. And while I wasn't immediately like, I want to do that, it made me think to myself that there were people out there who were finding their own ways to make money and not begging an employer to choose them. I really hated that energy of applying for a job. At that time, I was cooked. I had nothing to lose. I had student debt, no income coming in because I didn't even have a part-time job. Thankfully, I was living at home and I didn't have to worry about paying bills and whatnot. But I had this fancy degree that was supposed to open doors for me that wasn't opening any doors for me. So I decided to open doors for myself. And it's like if you graduate university or college, you know that those few months after, especially if you don't have a job lined up, that question of what's next coming from friends or family members is the worst two words you could possibly hear. It's like, I don't know. I just spent pretty much the majority of my entire life in school. Now I'm out of school and you guys are asking me who I am without school. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. And I guess that I did. Those TikToks, while cringy, maybe a scam, would change my life forever. Because that night I decided that I was going to take my life into my own hands and I was going to create opportunities for myself. I wasn't going to re-edit a resume so it perfectly fit the job description for the 17th time. And I was going to build leverage. At the time, I didn't know what this meant, but I knew I had to take quote unquote luck out of the equation. So I just took on as many opportunities as I could. I ended up getting a little side internship that was giving me just enough money to do my day-to-day stuff. And I volunteered at a nonprofit. I think they eventually started paying me little bits and bobs here and there. And I specifically used that work to build a portfolio. I realized that the degree I had, I didn't really want to use, and I wanted to get into marketing. So I was building up a marketing portfolio on my own and learning on my own via YouTube University. Thank God for YouTube. I created fake campaigns and I just kept building and building. I tried everything. If they needed something at the nonprofit, I would do it. Email marketing, a little campaign, an Instagram post, an Instagram story. I said yes to everything. Even though I didn't really know what I was doing, I knew I could figure it out some way or another. And that's the energy that you definitely need. I tried a bunch of different side hustles during this time as well. Like I was just open and creating opportunities for myself. So I did try one of those side hustles I saw on TikTok. I tried Etsy print on demand, and that actually worked out really, really well for me until it didn't. My store got banned. Etsy can be weird, but in hindsight, I'm glad that happened because that's what really, really pushed me to just take my freelance business seriously. Throughout this whole entire time, I started posting my learnings on TikTok. I posted what I was doing on Etsy. I posted what I was learning in marketing. A couple of my first initial videos got good views. I would say 20,000 views, which is pretty good. I wouldn't say viral, but it was a good little booster for me. And then it was crickets. So for 2 to 3 months, I was posting 2 to 4 times a day, every single day, like clockwork, getting 200 to 300 views until finally something clicked. I figured out what it was and I just iterated. It was a lot of filming and getting ready and thinking and repeating myself every single day. It was honestly exhausting, but I'm so glad that I just had that hustle in me at the time because it put me in front of the eyes of the right people. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that people were getting opportunities by putting themselves out there. So I kind of understood that without having said it to myself, let's say. And that is what happened. I started getting 7-figure founders reaching out to me. Oh, I like this video you made about copywriting. We need a copywriter. Would you want to work for us? And all of a sudden, I realized that maybe there might be a glitch in the system because I'm out here sending job applications and resumes and I'm not hearing back from anyone. And honestly, to companies that I didn't even really care to work for. And these cool startups and founders were reaching out to me and telling me that they wanted to pay me well for the services that I had just taught myself to learn over the past 6 months. Insane. Just like that, I wasn't quote unquote underqualified anymore. I wasn't competing with the 5,000 other girlies that just graduated university who wanted the same cool marketing job. Quite literally, within 18 months, I had a 6-figure freelance business doing copywriting and paid social for D2C e-commerce brands. Just like that. Just because I learned the skill, I put myself out there, continued to get good at it, did good work for my clients, and never stopped. Obviously, there were ups and downs in between. There was a lot of things I had to learn. I had bad clients. I had good clients. I had months where I would be chasing invoices. I had months where I have to start at zero again. I had to learn how to find retainer clients. There was a range of things in between. If you're a freelancer or you're thinking of freelancing and you can relate to any of this, I have a bingeable 60-minute course in the description where I unpack this kind of stuff in detail. But what I want to get across in this video is just the idea that you can just break the scripts that we have. There are outlines on the canvas of how we should live our lives, and all of those are fake outlines or outlines of other people. When you are living in your true identity, you are painting your own canvas with no outline. You're testing different colors, different hues. You're drawing things in ways that other people would think, I don't really like that, but it doesn't matter because it's your canvas. But I'm telling you, the scripts that we are given can be completely rewritten, and you can live your life the way that you want to and create your own path. And oftentimes the people that you meet in the world that just have this magnetic energy about them are those who have realized this and have forged their own path. You do not need to get a traditional title. You do not need a 9-to-5. It does not have extra security or safety. The future of work has changed and will continue to change. I am of the belief that digital freelance economy is the direction the world is going to over the next 5 to 10 years, but I can't imagine what things are going to come up and how that will evolve, and that might then change. But right now, a lot of people are struggling to find work, doing loads of interviews, coffee chats. But if you are resenting that path, that might just be a sign that that path is not for you, and you can create your own path. All you need is a little bit of audacity and proof of work. It's not that you'll just choose to not do it and then opportunities will come to you. It's the fact that you can choose to just get in front of the people you want to in a different way. I mean, I know a girl who got a job at TikTok by posting a TikTok. No true experience, a fresh uni grad, but she created undeniable proof that they should, let's say, take a bet on her. And that's literally all that the people who seem to have achieved the things or do cool things in life have done. Put themselves out there, take luck out of the equation, and make choosing them an undeniable choice. You need to move through life with an undeniable belief that you do not need anyone's permission to do the things that you imagine, to live out the childhood dreams that you have. That is what being alive actually is. Most people are afraid to admit that the world has changed or the scripts aren't true, because if you admit that, the rules that make you feel so safe, they don't matter. And you become the author of your own story, which, as much as it's exciting at the end, it's scary building the storyline. Because if the whole game can be rewritten, then do your excuses really even matter? You'll notice that when you choose to paint your own canvas and forget the game, forget the script, you will terrify people who abide by the shoulds. You should do this, you should do that. The shoulds don't exist. The shoulds are just a psyop, literally. You do not need rules to be safe. You can just do the thing. You can just create your own path. You can make yourself undeniable by putting in effort every single day to learn a skill or get good at the thing that you're interested in without a resume and definitely without a cover letter. The shoulds that you might believe exist right now are just choices. And my prayer is that you make the choices that are burning in your little heart today. More practically, I want you to think about where you want to be. I want you to find people that are in the exact position, not someone who kind of has the life you want, someone who has the exact life you want. If you want to be a freelance marketer, find a freelance marketer like me. If you want to be a freelance stylist, find a freelance stylist who's styling the people that you would dream to style and living that life that you want. If they're accessible and open, you can reach out and ask them questions. Don't be general. Don't ask them, oh, how do I get here? But I would say be cautious of people's time and be thoughtful with the questions you ask. It's more important to know how to ask good questions than to just ask questions. So instead of saying, I would really love your help and I want to know everything you did to get here, instead of asking that, ask them more specific, nuanced questions to show them that you've maybe already made an effort to forge your path and you're in a specific area that might require a little bit of insider knowledge. So as an example, let's say you want to be a freelance marketer. You go out there, you learn the marketing skills and you start to actually try and get clients. Then you might run into a bottleneck. Oh, I have this sales call or I have this thing to do. Then you might reach out to them and say, what's the number one thing that I should know on a client sales call or something like that? So find someone that has the life that you want and then be intentional and specific with the type of questions questions you ask them if they're accessible. If they're not accessible, but they're online, just follow their journeys, see what they do, things they say, where they're going. Maybe you can go through their followers and see if there's anyone else that is in their circle that might be more accessible. You can get clever with the way that you would go about it. Second, it's very, very important to put in effort every single day in building your skill, becoming undeniable at what you do. So for example, for me as a marketer, every single day, if I wasn't consuming content, I was doing the things that allowed me to build up this muscle. So I was so confident when I was doing client work. It was more not just a way for me to make money, but rather a way for me to learn and continue to put in those inputs, because those compound over time. And then all of a sudden it's like 4 or 5 years later and you have this insane depth of knowledge on a topic or a skill that you had no idea about years prior. And lastly, commit to your self-development, commit to believing in yourself and believing that you can curate your own path. I'm telling you, it's not easy to go out there and bet on yourself and create a different game plan, create a different script. It's much easier to follow the script. The rewards are quite sweet, but it can be difficult to let people's words flow off of you and not get too caught up in the what ifs and kind of unlearn what you might believe right now, which is that I have to do things this way, or this way is safer, or this is the only possibility I have because I'm this type of person and I could never achieve that, or I'm so separated from that, or I'm not like her, I don't have the confidence like she does or he does. You have to be so intentional with how you speak to yourself and how you wake up every day and choose to move through life. If you do these 3 things and you literally just don't stop, I promise you, you can create the life you want in an unconventional way. It'll have people questioning whether you're even being honest or not, but it won't matter to you because you would have known the work that you put in to get there. So yeah, no resume needed to go out there and go get paid. Bye.